So again, the brand within the brand fits beautifully. It's fundamentally sound because, again, the transition away from transactional purchases to directional planning, getting a client to buy into where it's going and making those little mid-course corrections based on external forces and dependencies. That's great. But they just feel like, okay, we're going from A to B. Okay, where are we? And are we on track? It's very cool. Now, I'm constantly reminding advisors, like, what is it that a client can only get from you? It's not the commoditized products, it's your proprietary process. And so you want to keep imprinting and reinforcing that process is what actually drives the fulfillment of those individual decisions. Like, I'm not sure to what extent, Chris, in the last 5 years, alternative investments and you being more mindful of your clients' assets that are outside of your process currently. But if a client is bought into the fact that, look, if there's a liquidity event, if they monetize, then you have the process that will act around the fulfillment of addressing that when the time is right. I'd love your perspective on that. And then tell us about how big your team is, how many messengers are out there representing your value, because that becomes glue. That creates the consistency and the reinforcement of your brand identity. So if you could drill into that, that'd be great.
Sure. And back to that journey is that the other thing that I tell is that it's not my destination that we're headed to, right? It's yours, Mr. and Mrs. Klein. And we're not the ones behind the wheel. That's you guys. We're here for the guidance on how we get there. So back to your question on alternative investments. And before we get to that, I would say we have a lot of clients that come to us on even the smallest decisions, purchasing a car, buying a home. And so we want to make sure that we are in every one of those decisions to help clients set themselves up for success, right? Because when you start breaking down something that small as a car, purchasing a car, different interest rates, different terms, how much you put down, you really can see how much control you have in that. And that's such a small, minute piece of the puzzle. So that when you get to the house or to the alternative investments, right? We really have clients coming to us unsolicited, especially if it's something that comes to them from the golf course, from a buddy that is a private investment. Our clients are seeking our counsel on that just to have our input on, we want your eyes on it. Is this the right thing for us? Does it fit with where we're going? And again, being a true fiduciary and through the planning process is we can be objective to say, here's what I would do. Because ultimately that's what our clients are looking for. Is this something that you would do? Would you put your money in this? And if you would do so, then I'm comfortable doing so. And so the process, getting that deep into our clients' lives is, I think, what sets us up to be in all of those different decisions. And so the team, we're up to 20 folks now, a couple of private wealth advisors like myself, 4 or 5 different other financial advisors, and then associate financial advisors and coordinators, client coordinators. And so we all sing the same tune and the same message, so that it may be one of my associate advisors that's helping to gather some of the information on a private investment or an alternative or the purchase of a new home, so that when we sit down together, a lot of that data has been pulled together and we've got that done through the process of how we engage with clients. So that when I sit down, it's really drilling into the heart of the question and where the financial decision comes into play.